Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is How Can We Give Meaning to Our Lives? This has been on my mind the last couple of days. My mother texted me a picture of this statue that I bought her when I was 13 years old. It was Mother's Day, and I went to the mall with my friends. I knew my mom had bought a lot of these statues from this company called Yadro. At the time, I didn't realize it, but these were porcelain statues, and they were expensive. And my mom had one of a man playing a violin or a woman sitting in a chair reading a book. And for me, when I went to the mall and I saw these $15 statues, they looked exactly the same to me as the ones that my mother had at home. So I bought it, and I was so excited, and I gave it to her on Mother's Day. And when she opened it, she gave me a big smile and a hug. And then she also laughed a little because the statue was made out of plastic, I think. I'm not even sure. And she explained to me the difference between the one I bought her and the Yadro. And like I said, she sent me a picture of it the other day, and it's about 40 years later, and it's the only statue my mom has out on her counter. She still owns the Yadros, but she doesn't have a feeling about them anymore. She liked them for a while, but the one I gave her is her favorite. The one I gave her has meaning, and when she looks at it, it makes her heart open. And I asked my mom if she thought the Yadros were pretty back then, and she says that she believes that she did, but they were very popular, and then one day she just stopped liking them. She doesn't think they're ugly, but they don't appeal to her sense of taste or style. And why I'm sharing the story with you today is that meaning is the thing that we have that's everlasting. The meaning that we have for things connect with our heart. They connect us with people. They connect us with life. I even have a friend that called me. She recently got divorced. She's around 50 years old. She said to me, how could it possibly be that I don't even know what I like? She went to a museum the other day, and she just walked around trying to figure out what she thought was pretty and what she didn't. And she used to go to the museums all the time with her ex-husband, but she never connected it to her heart. And a lot of us do this. We decide to get the job, have the marriage, go to these places. And I'm not saying that they don't give us any short-term pleasure, but how many of us sit and look around the room, look around what's happening and say, what is truly meaningful to us? What touches our heart? My mom, at the end of the day, likes things that give her emotional connection. She likes things that remind her of happiness and heart and love. My girlfriend, turns out she likes modern art. There's something about the vibrancy and the shapes and the uniqueness that makes her heart sing. And why this is so important is that all day long, through social media, through our jobs, through our friends, through our parents, we think there are things that we should like, things that we should do, things that are responsibilities. And yet, when we do this, we are living from our thoughts, we're living from our brain, we're always trying to work things out, and our heart does not feel connected. And there will be a day, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, where the emptiness will shine through, because there's only so long that we could live without the things that are meaningful to us. And we shouldn't judge what's meaningful. Anything could be meaningful. A great meal with friends could be meaningful. Art could be meaningful. Reading a book could be meaningful. But it's different for everyone. And when you start connecting with that, your life starts to change. Colors start to come in. Your heart starts to open. There's more joy and there's less suffering. There are some of us that are always aware when things are not meaningful to us. And there's some of us that feel a duty to others, feel we have responsibilities, feel that there shoulds, feel that we've been told what to do. We're just trying to get along. But our soul is calling for all of us to find out what really is alive in us. That's what it is. What is alive in you that needs to come out? Doesn't have to be complicated, but it's within you. And that discomfort that you feel every day, that thing that doesn't feel quite right, it's your soul calling out to you, asking you, what gives you meaning? So how can we do this? How can we start even thinking about this? And maybe you know these things already. Start with colors, start with music, start with a physical activity that really brings you joy. What kind of clothes do you like? Really like, not what people are wearing, not to fit in. And then with foods, you might already be connected with these things. But it's again a way that we express ourselves, the true nature of who we are. When you start to do this, you start to find hobbies that you love. There's a woman I work with who found that she loves pottery. There's another woman I work with who always wanted to sing. And now she's taking guitar lessons and she's singing. It's never too late to find out what's meaningful to you. And what's so amazing is when you do these things I'm talking about, which sound small. I always wanted to sew. I always wanted to write a book. I always wanted to write poetry. When you start to do these things and your heart starts to open, it starts to flow to bigger things in your life. Because then you see the connection, you see the meaning, and then you start to see, well, why do I feel this on a Saturday when I'm writing poetry, when I'm dancing, when I'm looking at beautiful colors and eating foods I love, and then I go to work on Monday and my heart feels dead. There's no meaning. I feel miserable. I'm not connected with it. So all of a sudden, you know what it's like to feel that aliveness, that joy, that creativity. And that's going to build up, and you're going to start looking at the other things that you're not connected with. People you're not connected with, the job you're not connected with, the thoughts you're not connected with. Whatever you're not connected to, you are going to start to learn who you are. That's where meaning comes from. It comes from going back to the soul and going back to the heart and not listening to the outside world, not people telling you how you have to look, what you have to weigh, what you have to do every day to be successful and abundant and to manifest. You are a unique soul. It just is that way. And there are things that are going to give you meaning that won't give someone else meaning. But that is who you are. That is the song that you sing. That is one of the reasons you're here, and that is your path in your journey, is to learn about you and let your heart open, and that creative person that you are, that deep person that you are, that gorgeous person that you are, that just let it out, let it sing, let it fly. And the more you do this, the more you're going to pick an occupation that's meaningful to you. Your friends will reflect who you are. You're not going to be in situations that make you feel bad. You're going to be with creative souls who see the beauty in you. The more things you find that are meaningful, the more meaning you will give to your life, the more meaning you will have every day. The deeper your relationships, the deeper every moment will be. It starts so simple, and then it grows into this amazing life where you are connected to everything in it. For me, it started with colors, and it's blossomed into a life that I could never have imagined. And I'm still learning things about myself every day. New ideas, new creative projects, new things that interest me. It's endless. We are endless. We are infinite. I hope you think about this today. I hope you start to think about what your heart truly desires and what gives you meaning. And remember, uncertainty is your best friend, because if you want your life to change, it has to happen in the unknown. So as you connect to more meaning, know that the future is filled with infinite possibilities. And if it's meaningful to you and it comes from your heart, what you seek is seeking you, and you can create a life of meaning. And with that life of meaning comes love and abundance and the path that you were meant to travel. And most of all, always remember, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to read my books, The Gift of Maybe or A Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you'd like to listen to the newly released audiobook for The Gift of Maybe, it's available at all major audio platforms. And if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.